Welcome to I Talk You Talk. This video is about Indian manufacturing sector and the output of the same. 60 years back in the year 1960, the size of the Indian manufacturing was at 5.4 billion US dollars. Let's see how the Indian manufacturing has evolved. Here is the fact for the day. Do you know what is the amount of carbon dioxide emitted in India every year? It is 24 lakh kilotons. And per capita it is 1.82 metric tons. Back to the topic. India manufacturing output. As we saw earlier, in 1960 the size was 5.4 billion US dollars. After 60 years it stands at 394.53 billion US dollars. That's almost 73 times the size of 1960. The evolution of Indian manufacturing can be categorized into four different divisions. First being pre-independence, next 1948 to 1990s, 1991 to post-millennium is the third phase, and the last phase is the current phase. The pre-independence era had mostly handicraft items and the growth of manufacturing industry was very less. Post-independence, the focus was more on the steel, lignite and fertilizers and stuff, but there was less of private participation. The license Raj that was in practice did not facilitate a good industry growth, rather it limited the scope of development in manufacturing industry. The third phase, 1991 to post-millennium, that's when the liberalization started. LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization came into picture. That opened the economy, it attracted a lot of foreign investors, and this is the phase where manufacturing industry started to soar. The current phase is the Make in India phase. This has got 70% of the manufacturing under private sector and it has attracted a lot of foreign direct investments. Let's understand what manufacturing refers to and the definition of the same. Manufacturing refers to industries belonging to ISIC. Well, what is ISIC? International Standard Industrial Classification. ISIC has defined manufacturing as the physical or chemical transformation of materials of components into new products, whether the work is performed by power-driven machines or by hand, whether it is done in a factory or in the worker's home, and whether the products are sold at wholesale or retail. Manufacturing also includes assembly of component parts of manufactured products and recycling of waste materials as well. Let's look at the trend of Indian manufacturing output. Here is the data for the past 60 years. The trend line very clearly shows a good growth. Of course, the first 30 years from 1960 to 1990, the time when license Raj was into practice, the growth was very slow. But the next 30 years, since 1991, that's when India opened up the economy and liberalization, privatization, globalization got established. From the chart, it is evident that the manufacturing sector growth was aggressive. It looks like this growth rate is going to sustain in the future as well. Let's compare manufacturing output as part of the GDP. Let's take the same 60-year data. All through the years, manufacturing output has always contributed between 13 to 18% of the entire GDP. Let's look at the manufacturing output in terms of domestic and in exports. 54% of the entire manufacturing output meets the domestic need. That amounts to 212 billion US dollars. The rest 46%, that is 182 billion US dollars, meet the export need. Let's look at the classifications under exports. The divisions are engineering exports, petroleum products exports, gems and jewelry exports, pharmaceutical exports and chemical exports. And here is the breakup for the exports. Engineering exports count to $81 billion, petroleum products count to $38.2 billion US dollars, gems and jewelry counts to $28.6 billion US dollars, pharmaceutical 14.7 billion US dollars, and finally chemical counts to 19.09 billion US dollars. Engineering exports count to almost half of the entire exports. Petroleum products and gems jewelry takes 21% and 16% respectively. and the rest is shared by pharmaceutical and chemical exports. Now let's look at the gross capital formation happened in the manufacturing industry. Firstly, let's understand what is gross capital formation. That means capital accumulation over a time period through additions in physical assets such as equipments, machines, transportation assets, and electricity. This serves as an indicator of the investment activity in any sector. Here is the graph of gross capital formation from 2016 to 2019, and it has shown a very clear growth. In 2019 alone, the capital addition counts to 140 billion US dollars. In Indian rupees, it's 9.84 trillions. That's a big money. Finally, all the insights make us believe and predict that Indian manufacturing has got a big future. Hope you liked the video. Please do put in your comments and critics. Thanks for watching.